The toggle's red in here. We're live on Twitch, just so you know. Go on then, do your intro.
Okay, we should be sorted.
Yes, I believe so. I think we've been live on Twitch for a little while.
Oh, we're not even live on Twitch. We're definitely not live on Twitch, but we should be live on YouTube. Welcome to people on YouTube. I can hear myself back for some reason.
Fixed it.
Well done.
Sorry.
What a mess. Okay, let's start because we can cut this bit out for the recording, but the live streamers are getting a little bit of this. So let's start as though nothing's gone wrong. Welcome to the late Apex. Tonight we are going to be discussing an event which many people didn't think was ever going to happen, the release of Le Mans Ultimate, a game which has been steeped in controversy ever since it was announced several years ago by Motorsport Games. Since then we have had delays, we have had monetary mismanagement, and yet it seems like we have at least an early access of a game which many people have been asking for many, many years. We are going to be discussing whether it functions well, whether it is worth your money in this week's The Late Apex, along with all the other sim racing news and updates when it comes to Apex Racing. David, how are you? You're older than I remember.
We are live on Twitch, by the way, so hello to Twitch and YouTube. So whatever you did.
Seriously?
Seriously, we are. Look, we were live on Twitch 2 minutes before YouTube.
I pressed stream on YouTube.
I think Restream is just pummeling it out.
Well, Restream's not open.
Well, it's working. It's definitely working. Yes, it's been a good week. So you've had a go of it.
Yep.
And I've had a long go.
Honestly, I've done an hour and a half on it.
I've done about 17 to 19 hours of setting up and racing. I suppose actually, yeah, that's a good subject to start with. How was your setting up experience? You're a knowledgeable guy. You've set up a lot of sims.
I'm pretty thick when it comes to IT.
Did you use a 49 or a triple?
A 49.
Okay, so there was a lot less you had to do.
Yeah, I've heard people have had difficulties with triples getting it just right. So yeah, my process for a thick person, I installed it from Steam as you do, and it was fairly simple. The initial menus gives you a good idea of what to do. It immediately says, are you a beginner, an intermediate, or an advanced? I went for advanced. The settings in terms of the driver aids correct from the get-go. That's really good. The controls actually fairly simple. It didn't automatically detect it, but yeah, I just turn left, turn right. Yep, it's got it right. And the wheel is about right. The brake pedal is about right. I made it a little bit so that I didn't have to push it all the way down to the limit, but it was pretty much there straight away. I was able to load up a solo race. I weirdly managed to load up a race, but without any other drivers.
I had that on the first. You probably got the initial list. Sometimes all the classes were unticked, so you were in a weekend event on your own.
I did tick it. I remember ticking it. Yes. Or maybe I unticked it. It's very possible that I unticked them all. So maybe, that was it. So maybe that wasn't super intuitive. Jumped into an online session eventually, though, and had a good time of it. So within an hour and a half, I was able to, be decently competitive on an online session. That's pretty good.
Yeah, for me, I have set up R Factor 2, on my Blister. I've set them up on 49s, on triples, on VR. And I should have found it a breeze because the ini file is a duplicate of R Factor 2, but I made the smallest of mistakes, and the screen height, I think it was a typo or a miscalculation on Google, because they want it in, this is the funny thing, do you think they want it in inches or centimeters?
I don't know.
Wait, how about bezel width? What would be a good way of measuring a bezel width?
Oh, I guess centimeters.
No, meters. Yeah, you're measuring your bezel in, all the calculations are meters, so you can imagine it's a lot of 0.000.
Yeah.
So I had put in all my information, I'd set up my triples, everything. I kept jumping into sims and it all looked rather distorted. And I couldn't, it was so distorted that I didn't actually put 2 and 2 together that it was an FOV issue. I thought it was a graphic issue, and I was like, oh, for God's sake. I lost a lot of time, went back and forth, and I was like, okay, I'll just redo my measurements. And yeah, went back through, and I noticed the height. Maybe I'd put like 0.0023 instead, or 32
Sure,
instead of
yeah.
23, which in any other measurement factor would have been such a small, insignificant, but it's about that. About that in height. So once I fixed that, it was perfect. Like you say, the rest was pretty intuitive, as intuitive as any of us. Force feedback, the sound, everything.
It's not particularly great in terms of, and you mentioned this before I even gave it a go, you have to exit out the sim in order to change a lot of the settings, which isn't fantastic.
So if anyone chat, by the way, hello to everyone who was here.
Thanks for sticking
when
with
we
us.
weren't. Let's better put that.
Yeah, we had to do the stream this time instead of having our genius producer Lee to set it up. So
if we ever act like we don't need all them people in that room, me and Sam were just walking around pressing buttons.
Man, it took ages.
What was you saying? Lost my flow.
Well, I mentioned how you had to change settings by going out of the sim.
Yeah, so you can't change a lot of your graphical settings when you're in the sim. Now, this isn't a huge problem if it's first release. It wasn't taking a long time. I'm sure you had this. A long time to join into sessions. So if it takes 3 minutes to join in, you're like, damn it, I forgot to change the anti-aliasing. Change the anti-aliasing. You jump back in, you're like, the shadows. Like, I've gone too... Like, because obviously you want to...
I wasn't touching that. I was like, nah, I realise how much time this will take to change.
See, I do every... Obviously, I, being a streamer and optimizer, I try and find... Like, if it says ultra and high, of course I try ultra. Then I try high. And if there's no discernible difference and I get FPS, then bam, highest winner. If it says, like, shadow resolution, and I zoom in on a shadow on ultra, and I zoom in on high, and high, I can't see a difference, I'm going with high. And then I do them with the motion blur. With every setting, I try and dial it in to get the maximum visuals with the maximum FPS. And it took me an hour and 45 minutes to do this, plus the FOV. I lost a lot of time with the setting up the FOV. That was a typo. That was my fault. But I really feel like if it wasn't in meters, my mistake would have been, it would have been fluffed over. It would have been a 0.6 of a millimeter. I'd have been running it wrong to today. But let's talk about the positive, because the UI, one more bad. The UI, I'm sure you had a lot of lag.
It wasn't actually too bad for me. Honestly, it was fine for me. I don't know, like, if they've fixed it or something, but like,
maybe you had
it wasn't a problem.
The patches of it definitely improved it. It was so bad on the initial that, let's say you wanted to change fuel before the race, you'd click it and it would like, click. Now you've got to do this like 50 times, and you've got a timer of like 50 seconds till race to queue to race, and you're clicking the fuel, panicking. And the problem is, there's a double problem. If you spam the button, so you and then you move away and you're about to press save, you notice the button just keeps going down, and now you're down to 0 liters, and you think, oh my God, I'm just going to drive endurance fuel. I'm just going to reload the set and drive endurance fuel. But onto the positives. I think once you're in the car, and the racing was brilliant. I couldn't find a flaw. I mean, there's always the confusions. Like, I picked up a pole and I didn't know the starting procedure, because in the multi-class races, there's a safety car. In the sprint, when you're one class, there's no safety car. You are the safety car. And there was a countdown. And I didn't know if the countdown was, do I start rolling? Is it the countdown, then they're going to tell me to roll? And someone in chat was like, when it goes to 0, you move forward. I was like, okay, cool. Yes, mine stopped on 1. It stopped on 1. I hesitated because I was like, is there a pop-up? And then, no, it popped up saying, warning, you're going too slow. I was like, oh, went to throttle. It was like, black flag, stop and go penalty. I was like, come on, man, I put it on pole.
Yeah.
And then it starts telling me all the drivers I need to let pass. And I was like, oh, come on. But, I mean, if I go back to my first 3 iRacing races, I still remember them because obviously I was YouTubing, recording stuff. I blew my Mazda engine, and I went on red, not because you're so panicking, like it's all black, then it goes red, and you're like, throttle. You're like, no, no, what have I done? So iRacing was pretty much the same. But I did, like 17 hours of racing, door-to-door racing, fun, the netcode, I'm not even going to call it the netcode model. The contact model was great, considering these are all online races we're doing. the battling was close. I had really fun at Fuji. I had to learn Portimao, Algarve. You've been saying it's a good track, and I absolutely fell in love with it. The racing was competitive. Obviously, your first couple of races, you're racing people much like yourself who are clueless on how the brake works. And all right, I'm more clueless.
We're going to talk about my first online race.
Oh.
My only online race so far.
Pole win?
No. Second, though.
Oh.
Qualified like P8 or something. There was at one point actually in qualifying where like after the first laps I was P1. I was like, guys, like I've absolutely nailed this. I'm a talent. Then someone went 2.5 seconds faster than me, and I remembered why I don't like sim racing, because there's always someone faster than you and it's demoralizing. But got through it, and got up to P2 in the race. Didn't make mistakes. This was Fuji in the GTE cars.
Excellent, wasn't it? Ferrari?
Interesting. You thought Ferrari?
Oh.
For the GTE?
Far and away.
Aston.
No, but I'm talking about what's best. Not I would have wanted to drive the Aston as well, but the Ferrari was far and away the best one.
Oh, maybe that's why I was 2 seconds off the pace. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, a Ferrari did win the race, so maybe, yeah, that's why. But yeah, I went Aston. Obviously, the first two cars I drove, Ferrari GTP, Aston GTE.
Oh, the Ferrari GTP. We'll talk about that in a minute. I picked up a 1-2 with our very own Gordy Much.
Yep.
Yep. It was close. No, I was close with P3, and Gordy nodded off and didn't try and give me draft or anything.
Yeah, but you don't want to waste energy.
No.
You just need to finish P2.
Correct. I didn't want to do more. Yeah, he was wasting so much.
Gordy would have been upset if he hadn't have won. So I think that was the perfect result.
Yeah. I was really close to him, though, on the formation lap. Really. Like, you could have...
Yeah.
We were inseparable.
Yeah.
And then after...
Could have got ahead of him.
I could have, yeah. If he'd have told me when he was going on green, I could have gone before him.
Yeah.
But I didn't have mate, he was gone. Absolutely gone. But yeah, all the Apex boys, Maxime, Kevin, Jamie, the rule grinding this hard.
Yeah.
The splits are busy. Oh, some facts. On launch, it hit 4,500 users.
It's good.
Which is pretty good for a racing game, especially a non-arcadey one. There's no drift points or millions of maps. And Twitch numbers have been doing really well, but we see there's not really much point reporting that, because every game does well the first couple of days, especially a controversial game doesn't have to be good, does well on the first couple of days, because streamers want to, even if they just want to hate on it.
I mean, people want to know what the game's like, right? So,
yep, and even tonight, let me just check. I think it hit like 3,000 people tonight, 3,000 odd. Let me just check. So the splits are insane. Now, it would be nice to... I mean, this is just coming from iRacing. You don't know what split you're in. You just know you're...
No.
So tonight, it peaked at 3,185 people, which is actually more than Thursday. But I reckon that has something to do with Spa.
Sure, yeah.
LMP2 Fix is now Spa. And that I saw... Because Portimao's great and all, but there was a big curve of learning. Lots of people were jumping in thinking... Because Fuji as well isn't the easiest of tracks.
Really tricky track.
Yeah.
I mean, I found it tricky.
Yeah. So Fuji and Portimao.
Yeah.
Considering the numbers we're seeing. But yeah, so tonight, it doesn't match night 2 or night 1. Night 1 was 4,700. Night 2 was 3.5. Then it was down to 3,000. Now we're up to 3,1. But yeah, fantastic. Yeah, all-time peak, 4,728 people at the same time.
Sure.
Which, that's a lot of splits, considering everyone's a beginner. The grind-out beginner is really hard, which I've always misunderstood why iRacing didn't do it that way. The licenses are so easy to get in iRacing. It's almost ridiculous. Has nothing to do with performance. You just mull around at the back for 4 Mazda races and you're C. And then you do a couple of time trials and 1 Mazda race and you're B. And then when you get A, you have to drive like a not a moron, a consistent moron.
Sure, yeah.
Or you have to be just competitively repeating your mistakes. Like if you're getting a lot of off tracks in a track, unless you're a streamer and you're just having to race again and again and again and again, you look at why you got 9x,
You're really overestimating the average sim racer here. Like, no one reflects. People think, oh, I was unlucky, it's not my fault. Let's jump into another race.
Yeah, so I think, because once you get down to A, like 2.1, I mean, even if you're doing a throw fix 15-minute race and you get 7x, it gives you 0.02. Gives you. You know, you kind of have to get a DQ at that
Sure,
point to
yeah.
start to actually go below the curve. You can easily lose an A from other people being dumb. True, but you'd have to be grinding some awful softs though. But yeah, I suppose if you're lower rated, but I don't know. I've done 1,000 throw fixes, and everyone tells me throw fixes god awful.
In my one race that I did, someone did wipe out half the field in turn 1, so that was pretty much, I felt at home on that one. That was my Fuji race, and yeah, someone just. But I saw them in the mirrors, and I was like, yeah, I'm just not going to turn into the corner. P5. So yeah, that was
Someone
there are
equals
idiots,
Sam.
but I mean, it'll be good that people will get rid of people in who aren't very good drivers. Aaron Smith in chat saying someone equals Sam. It wasn't me. It was a Porsche. It wasn't an Aston Martin, actually, Aaron. So get your facts straight, and I don't want any more of that libel being directed in my way.
But I'm finding the grind on SR really, really tricky, and I know lots of people are. Like, I was really excited to get to the next.
How is SR calculated?
Oh, see, this is what's beautiful. Yeah, at the end of each race, I don't know if you saw the report card you get.
Yeah, I got a report card.
So you get a performance report card and a safety report card, and it quite literally tells you expectations of where you should have qualified, where you should have finished.
So it tells you your seed, basically, for that race.
Correct.
Yeah.
But it also does it on the safety front. It tells you why you've been penalised, like what you did in excess, who you had contact with. That's one funky thing.
That was the... There was a weird thing. I don't know if it's a glitch, but it said, oh, you made contact with another driver. The driver you made contact
yourself.
with. Sam Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, I had that as well.
I can't do anything about that. Like, so about, hitting myself. Like, what do you expect me to do?
But yeah, so getting back to the iRacing, I lost my A once in 1004. I got A, for, I don't know, 3.5 years ago. I lost it once, and yeah, I knew I was going to lose it. I was doing Porsche Cup Monza. It was brutal at the front, and the off tracks were brutal. But again, I chose to lose it because I didn't lose it I'm never going to, I don't just stop racing and end of season, get a demotion. I was 1.02, and I was like, register. Like, I know, I know I'm B in the next race.
Yeah.
But that was my choice. That's what I mean. In 1,400 officials of never hiding. Like, if I wake up and I'm doing that series, Porsche Cup at some crazy track, I do it all day and I do it all week. But that was the day where I knew. I could have changed. I could have done some easy to stay clean track, but I can't even do. I was getting off tracks in qualifying, which goes against you. Not a lot, but it does. But yeah, so the SI grind seems really hard. So I don't know if you saw. So the beginner races are LMP2 fixed and GTE fixed.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you was as surprised as me about one thing. You're super pumped for the prototypes, but you're shocked at how fun the GTEs are to drive.
I haven't actually driven the LMP2s, but yeah, the GTEs. Yeah, because the LMDHs, like, they've got so much acceleration, but then you get to a corner. I did some laps on Bahrain. You get to a corner and the thing's absolutely rubbish. Like, struggles so much through the corners, and you're really having to get on the power or the brakes early just to be able to meander through quite a slow speed corner. Like, the grip I found, at least compared to iRacing in the GTPs, much lower. I don't know if you found the same.
So now we're learning a lot more about the sim. The cold tyres, I was thinking they're bad. They're really cold. I'm hearing reports of 5 laps for maximum.
Okay, maybe I didn't. Yeah, maybe I didn't.
5 laps for maximum grip, especially in LMDHs. But yeah, if you're doing LMDH Le Mans, that first chicane, if you're just like excited to come out the pitch, like, let's go, go, go. Oh my God. Not only do the brakes feel a bit funky, but you go to do the turn in and the rear, there's nothing for you. And then you come out of pits and this can get a bit of a cycle. But yeah, the tyres are brutal. I did find, though, in the race, I don't know if you found this, but in the race, I'm not saying there was tyre warmers, but it certainly didn't feel like it felt in quali and practice. Just because in practice, I was like super careful the first lap or two. I always noticed it was really tricky. In qualifying, the outlap felt tricky, and the lap 1, you're like, in T1, you're like, please, 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 please. And lap 2, it felt pretty good. In the race, though, I'm always cautious of cold tyres, but I was sending T1 at Fuji, so maybe that is something to look at, that there is something in the race.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I think we've had that in iRacing as well before, though, that very similar situation.
In terms of, I've got a few points to,
go for it.
assess. Force feedback, I saw on Reddit that some people, particularly when it came to the LMDH, they were saying that the car is quite tricky to tell how much grip the car has got, and you're sort of having to use visual cues. I'm not sure. I didn't do many laps in the GTP. I didn't find that in the GTEs. I found if I had a slide with the GTEs, it was so satisfying. The 100R, every time I was going in too quick, and then I could hear the tire squealing. I could feel the force feedback. And I could basically just drift it through the corner, and I was so confident with that. I could do it every single time, and it was really nice to have a proper slide and just recover it really simply. GTP, I haven't driven a whole lot, but maybe that was part of the reason why I was struggling in the GTPs, because I wasn't sure how much grip I had going into the medium speed corners. But I don't know how you found it.
Yeah, so obviously, this is only thankful for the hours I have in other sims. The slip angle is a lot more, for sure. And that can give you that mental numbness of no grip. Because in iRacing, we know it's the average iRacing experience is understeer, 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 oversteer, oversteer. And if you don't, actually, no, there's only one oversteer. Second oversteer, that's when you lose the rear and you spin. That's the iRacing way. It always has been. So we have to be really... we know iRacing is all about balancing the tyres and not inducing too much oversteer as you will spin. But coming from, say, Rennsport, R Factor 2 and AC, the slip angle, I mean, it's what? On Rennsport's case, what, 5 times larger?
Yeah.
Maybe more. I'd say iRacing's the far end. iRacing has the lowest by incomparable. There's no sim like it. Ultima Blister's probably the closest, but it's still quite far away. Then you've got AC. I'm calling it that LMU has less than R Factor 2. I just think with these new remodeled cars, they've done something with it.
Sure.
Then R Factor, and then Rennsport's over by those lights.
Yeah.
I don't know if people have tried Rennsport Slip, but it's like, am I going to spin? No. Am I going to spin? No. Am I going to spin? Wait, can I just... Hold on a minute. I've just worked something out. If I could just keep turning. I think 2 things. People, them comments. Obviously, 3. It's not been out long. Big slip angle. Very cold tyres. So I think if you're heading out, you don't have much knowledge of... and not much experience, because day 2, day 3, these comments are coming out. Cold tyres, high slip angle. Your first experience Le Mans in LMDH is going to be belt into T1 and you lose the rear, 100%.
Sound, I think really good. The Ferrari LMDH is
It's ridiculous,
fantastic. It sounds so good under braking. However, only thing is, and I don't watch a whole lot of GT racing, I did find driving the Aston, it did sound a bit one-dimensional, where like I felt like I pulled out of the pits and it was like, it's that sound. And then I was going 200 miles an hour, and it was like the same sound. And it was almost as though I was hearing off-board sounds rather than like the intricacies of the onboard. Now, I don't watch like GTE cars, so maybe I'm missing something on that. But it felt, compared to the Ferrari, where whatever you do with the Ferrari, different sounds come up. Whether it's the first stage of a straight, it sounds different. Whether it's the end of a straight, whether you're braking, whether you're sliding, it sounds always different. The Aston just felt a bit one-dimensional.
No, I agree. Someone jumped into my chat and was like, I love the sound of LMU. And I was like, agreed, but the Ferrari GTE is a bit, you said one-dimensional, I said flat.
Yeah.
Like, I think we mean the same things. Just the acoustic range wasn't as wide as I thought it was going to be. It was very similar no matter the condition. Whereas the LMDH, the Ferrari LMDH is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I feel like I can feel the stones at the underbody. I can hear the regen. I can feel the brakes through my soul. I love it. I'd love that as my ringtone, the Ferrari braking. We missed some chat. Avoiding a bunch of series that don't have high softs. That's a good point, Teague. Yeah, very good point. Like I mentioned, my experience might be a bit wrong because lower softs and mid-pack racing, I don't want to do that again. So yeah, 100% I agree.
Aaron Smith in chat saying that the RSR could sound so much better. The RSR is probably the best sounding GT3 car in my opinion. and so or GTE car, apologies.
It is the best
It was
sound.
so loud as well, that car. Absolutely incredible. But yeah, it could sound so much better. I haven't driven it personally, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it has some room for improvement. Tyre model, a little bit early to say. We haven't been able to figure out some of the elements of it, but I mean, I guess
Screaming
that
Banshee.
sort of falls into the slip angle, like you were saying before, in terms of the tyre model. It's sort of linked to that in a way.
Yeah, we're just us iRacers reviewing a high slip angle game. It's really difficult the first 2 days.
Yeah.
It's so different, and that's why you get the reverse. It's why I'm not going to name anyone, but because then they're right in their opinion. It's why those guys who come over to iRacing are like, wait, spun.
Yeah. Oh,
Spun.
like I remember trying ACC
Spun.
for the first time. I was like, I thought this was going to be difficult.
Yeah,
Like, I
correct.
just jumped onto a sim and I'm like fine. I'm like, I've just done 10 laps without having any spins.
Correct. Yeah, and obviously I get both arguments because they're like, well, you watch telly, the GT3s, like, no offense, but does it look that difficult? They're driving road car. Like, it never looks like the Audi thing that we have in iRacing. And I don't know. I don't drive GT3, so I'm not even going to comment. I'm just saying I understand both camps, especially when they go from a high slip to a low slip and a low slip to a high slip.
Some frustrating elements of the slow loading.
It's ridiculous.
It's especially seeing that I've driven a bit of ACC recently, which is just like
It's ridiculous. It's what? So
like
iRacing's
genuinely 10 seconds for a 60 car field.
correct. I'm going to test it one day. I think you can load in and out of every ACC major GT3 quicker than, say, even iRacing Le Mans.
Yeah.
Just one car. Whereas, unfortunately, I'm going to say, I bet you could load into every ACC car and iRacing, not Le Mans, let's say Lime Rock, and still beat LMU.
Yeah, I reckon it's probably about 4 times longer than iRacing.
Yeah.
And about, I guess, 15 times longer than ACC. And I'm not exaggerating.
No, ACC is ridiculous. ACC, actually, as an iRacer, takes long. Do you know why? Because I don't know it's done. I click it and I usually sit there, you know, coffee.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, we're at the track. Like, oh my God. I don't know how ACC do that, by the way. I assume when you start selecting, like car, track,
it must
and they start loading.
Yeah, musty. That's the only way.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of bugs.
A
This
lot of
isn't
bugs.
early access. Do you think it should have been early access? Or do you think they should have delayed it by a month? Because it's like, I know that there's no career mode and not all the tracks are there yet. But like, it doesn't feel like an early access game because as long as you got online, you can have a lot of time on it. But those UI bugs are probably the most glitchy part of it.
They did it the best way. A delay could have killed them because they've already like we all hate. Sorry, motorsport games, but we do. It is okay. So we agree there. If they delayed it, it could have been the final nail in the coffin. Game over. So they knew there was bugs, but the bugs didn't stop the online racing. The racing bit this is what we actually thought they were going to pull when they said early access, is that we don't get online racing. So the bugs were very you can achieve the fun racing through the bugs. So I'm glad they called it early access while they're fixing them. Oh, and on the flip side, there were 3 patches. Like, I couldn't believe. So when I was streaming it, like 8 hours a day, every day, people were asking, like, how much you can do, how much you can do. You know, I was like, okay, I'll commit to a full week, 7 days of just all this, because I'm really having fun. But I at least want to see a tweet saying, we're going to fix some stuff. And then halfway through my first day, everyone's like, have you got the patch yet? I'm like, yeah, very funny. Like, well, because no game does. Like,
Sure, yeah.
Especially this. No way. Like, are you kidding? And then I checked Twitter and Instagram, they're advertising it. And this is what then I noticed. Actually, I noticed this before the patch, sorry. One real promising sign. They had a website, a webpage, and every report of bug that came in, they were adding them to the website.
It's just a list.
Now, I don't know if everyone's aware, but companies hate listing their problems. They would rather just write bug fixes on the release and hope people didn't notice the bugs and everything's perfect. I loved that they were just adding crappy loading times, buggy as ass. They were just there was a web page just
It's
listing
really
all the.
It's
Yeah, it
a
was
very
long.
web page.
And then they just put out a patch saying like, yeah, we fixed that one, this one, that one, that one. Second patch, all right, we fixed this one and that one. 2 patches, 3 patches, promising. But the major bug is the UI. The whole UI is either, well, like you say, it's inconsistent speed, and some of the buttons will work. You have 3 things that happen when you click a button. The button will work, the button won't click, or the game will close.
Yeah.
Now, I like the thrill of never knowing. But
That's how you live your entire life.
correct.
You're deliberately ambiguous when it comes to like ordering at a restaurant. You're like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like I pointed in a vague direction at the menu. The waitress took it one way. I don't know what I'm gonna get.
But as the patches come by, the buttons stopped being as it lent more to doing the action.
Yeah.
Not 100%, but it now lent in its favour.
Mm.
So that was quite cool. But yeah, there are lots of bugs. So perhaps that's why they called it early access. But ironically, people are thinking it's going slow. As a game developer, I can tell you what the problem with the menus are. It's going too quick. If you have a 220 FPS menu with a hover effect and a click action, sometimes when you like hover over 4 buttons to like there's a list of buttons and you go and go to click that one, not like it's just so much animation, so much load time, it can get actually out of timed. If they were to pin that to 30 or 60, it would be 4 to 5 times like faster visually. So yeah, it's a nightmare.
Someone online was mentioning how there's no visible new like ranking, like there's no like visible iRacing. What happens then at the end of a race? Because I saw you got the license thing, obviously your safety license.
Yeah.
Is there not
There is, but I need to look into this as well. It's almost like at the moment it's similar to safety. You're going up. I don't know if like we're all in rookies
well, we're like, is it C at the moment? Is that
B? Yeah, we're B.
Okay.
B0. So actually going back, if when you get iRacing and you race your first 5 odd races, you know you don't have an iRating then either.
Sure, yeah.
You do not have an iRating. You can't check it. At the end of a race, you will not know if your iRating went up or down because you do not have one. You just know you're a rookie. You don't deserve it yet. So I don't know if we're going through that phase at the moment. No, this is not published, but I think it's B0, B1, B2, B3. Then we go into silver. So B must be bronze. B's bronze. I've just worked it out.
Oh, well done.
No, I mean, I knew this. I'm now...
Sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
but this is you're reenacting yourself. From
yeah. B's bronze.
Yeah.
So we're starting at bronze. 0, I think it's 0. 0, 1, 2, and I assume it goes 3. Then silver 0, S0. And then we start unlocking intermediate, and then you've got expert to unlock. So unlock different combos. So at the moment, we can only do throw fixed and throw fixed. That's just what it is.
Well, that's
yeah.
GT, well,
GT
apart from me.
Yeah, GTE fix and LMP2 fix. I think intermediate you unlock LMDH sprint, and I think your first multi-class race or a weather race, I think. And then advanced, you get like the big boy stuff. Then you've got weekly events, and then you've got special events. Right, what was I saying? So there is on the driver ranking side at the moment it's done like safety rating. We're going through our bronze, which I already knew about, bronze, silver, and all that. I don't know if then we come out of it and we have a number or
we need a number. Like, honestly, they're just shooting themselves in the foot if you don't have a number. You need to have a number to aim to improve. The other weird thing. Well, I say weird because we only know the iRacing way. When you go to join an event, you see all the names in it. And at the moment, by the way, it's a who's who. Like you're scrolling down, like I know them. I'll have like 2 people who race in ARL and then 2 PESC drivers.
Yeah.
You know, just like.
But then you're put into splits, and the split system works really well. But you don't know what split you're in. You don't know if you're top. You don't know if you're 7th. You don't know if you're bottom. So at the moment, they're not telling you. You are being put into performance-rated splits, but you're not being told which one you're in. Yeah. But it definitely is rank-based because people are jumping in on their first and they're not in. So yeah, we would like a number to flex on the internet. Yes, correct. And we'd like. I mean, we want.
No, because we shouldn't have a number to flex. Like we shouldn't have a number because it's a silly thing to get obsessed about. And really, iRacing our focus is a matchmaking purpose to put people in the correct split. However, people like to see that number, and
Yes.
it's a good thing to aim for. So obviously, in terms of the experience and what it's used for, no, you shouldn't be able to see the number. But in terms of engagement, absolutely, you should have the number. So they should go for the engagement side and have it.
Do we need to, I would like to know what split as well. I think these things have evolved on iRacing for a reason. But yeah, I want the iRacing things. I just don't know if I always want them. So yeah,
Sure, yeah.
want the rating number. I want to see what split I'm in. I want to view the other splits. Like
Yeah.
like the race Maxime and all that lot were in. Like it was Lerner and Maxime and all these big names. I want to know how it went. I want to see their
At
lap
least
times.
see the results. You know,
Correct.
you can only see your results at the moment, can't you?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a limiting element. You put in SR grind. I think we've covered that already, haven't we?
Yeah, it's tricky, which I think is a good thing because when you get to the intermediate races, you're racing people that have turned into Fuji T1 and thought, nah, like, go on, mate, I'll follow you through because I've been here for weeks. Yeah, like I've tried. I want my silver. I'll let you have it and I'll follow you through.
Yeah.
So if you're intermediate, you're already burnt out from grinding. So yeah, it does feel like a grind though. But I think overall the contact model. Oh, damage. Damage doesn't seem to be there.
I bombed it into a wall at 180 miles an hour at Fuji, and there was some damage.
Okay, visible damage.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the off-board,
Oh.
so I don't know.
Well,
know what
other
happened there.
cars when you're racing them, I didn't see much visible damage, which would be sad because I know. Well, if it's just R factor, then like it's just sad to see. I don't know about performance damage. I don't get involved in incidents like you.
I didn't get involved in it. I missed the instance. Someone
What, the
bombed
wall,
it.
180 meters an hour?
Yeah, it was end of qualifying, all right?
Oh.
It really cost my safety rating. They were like, yeah, you shouldn't have hit the wall in qualifying. That's cost your safety rating. I was like, come on, I was testing I was doing research.
But no. On the whole, let's see how it survives with time.
I think they're in a good position. I think the fact that everything is so concentrated in like 2 series for them,
Yeah.
the participation is going to be great. You must have so many splits. You must have like right now there must be like 20 splits of like maybe
think
even more
more.
than that
I
because
think
like
more.
is it 15 drivers per split?
I think I had 16, 17. I'm not sure how they're splitting it. On your very, very first ever race, don't expect to you have a random number. I think I had like 9.
I think I had 12.
Because you have to remember, you are the bottom. Like they've done 17, 17, 17, 17.
Sure,
You're just like, okay, you lot are left. Which I think's a good way because iRacing's always been the other way around, right? It's top split that gets absolutely split to bits. Like when there's 30 cars for a 20 quid, it's like, oh, we'll split them in half and keep it fair. It's like top split has what? 11 cars. What are you doing? No, we get it proper, and those guys all race just the 5 of them. Like,
yeah.
Yes, 60 car grids. That would be really good.
Yeah, that's from Alan Luth in chat. I think it's a positive start. I honestly, I just think the fact that it's got online is like so important because like the fact that the game just functions and the fact that you can jump into an online race really regularly as well. Like these races are going up every hour.
Half an hour if you jump between.
Yeah. I mean, when I finished my GT race yesterday, it was 11:30, so I didn't jump into the P2 race, but I could have jumped into a P2 race 5 minutes later. So like it really works well. I think it's in a very good position. They need to keep on adding stuff to it, keep people excited about it.
Well,
we
we
need to have those special events. I think I'm excited about that. But
yeah, they're
I think
there.
it's a really good stuff.
They've already had one, like a 2-hour 40 race.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah,
and they've had a weekly event. But they need to fix. So the order I want them to do it, I want to fix it. Don't add a track. Do not try and sell us a DLC. Fix all the bugs.
Yeah.
Then release a bunch of tracks. I don't care if you charge us. I really don't care. But release the rest of the tracks.
Yeah.
So give us another like 7, say, track. I can't remember when you got like 5.
7? That's a lot of tracks. I think, well, Monza's like a bonus one because it shouldn't even be on the game. We need Imola, we need Kota, we need Interlagos.
Red Bull Ring?
I don't think Red Bull Ring's in WEC.
Oh, No, you're right.
Qatar. I'm trying to test myself, but I could just look at the white calendar. But it's at least 4.
2023.
Oh, do you think we're going to get all the 2023 tracks first?
Yeah, they're only doing 2023 content at the moment. Liveries, cars.
We've got Sebring, we've got Portimao, we've got
Yep.
Spa, we've got Le Mans,
Yep.
we've got Monza, we've got Fuji, we've got Bahrain. So actually, we've got all the tracks from last season.
Oh, F. So so it's 2024. Oh, I didn't realise. So we are waiting on the 2024 content.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I want
So I guess that will all come in one go.
that'll give us the Lambo GTP.
Yep.
But then it also gives us a new issue. All the GTs go. We get all the GT3s, which have just been announced by the way for the WEC. I don't know if anyone follows WEC IRL, but all the GT3s and the WEC cars have been confirmed or registered, like so we know what we're getting. So we want the 2024 content once the bugs are fixed.
Yep.
If they try and sell us the 2024 content while the bugs are here,
Well, I guess that will probably come in the full release. One
Yeah.
would expect, and I imagine the full release will probably be when Le Mans 24 happens in May. That would say I reckon that might be part of the reason why it was released as early access, because the CEO was like, "This is Le Mans. Shall we coincide it with like a real Le Mans race and make a big hype about it?" I think maybe that was a part of it.
it
So
got
I-
advertised. They've done a lot of marketing and everything. They are pushing this hard. I was going to say, the reason the game is brilliant, I have a theory, right? Right now, it's so fun. And I know why. There's no ABS in the game.
Is there not? I thought there was an option to change the ABS.
That is just a R Factor 2 thing. That's just like a driver aid. You remember when you picked Expert? That would have turned off brake help, anti-locking brakes. But that's not real. Like, it's more like a... you can't use it in competitive online stuff.
Sure.
It's a driver aid.
Sure.
But yeah, there's no modelled ABS in this game. GTE, LMP2, LMDH, no ABS cars.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So the pain comes when we get the GT3s.
I mean, I was watching Gamer Muscle do a video, and he's driving behind someone every corner, lock up, and I think you do get flat spots, which I didn't notice, but they just didn't lock up.
Oh yeah, I got a few. I love it. I've always wanted it because it really detriments you pace, consistency, but with a direct drive wheel running, I run good settings, like it's too much.
Sure.
It's doing this, but in a really vibration fashion. And you can actually tell if it's left, rights, and raw rights based on the vibrations, but it's going down that straight of Fuji like this, and then you turn in and you have got less balance is the best way of describing a flat spot. Traction's all over the place, but then you come back around to the straights. Every straight you feel this awful vibrate. And I wear gloves. And at the end of the race, like I've got numb hands.
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah, I love it. But my God, can I have just a light, please?
Sure. Yeah. So I think that is Le Mans Ultimate complete. It's 25 quid on Steam. Go buy it. It's not that much money. So
It is to some people.
yeah, but not to sim racers. We're very privileged people.
All right, fair point.
It's like a track and a car on iRacing. You're getting a lot more value than buying, I don't know, Oscherschleiben and one of the TCRs on iRacing. Speaking of iRacing, some free tracks have been confirmed to be made free. This was already released in the update, but just to confirm then, there are going to be 3 new tracks. Lebanon, which they started selling last season, which is a bit cheeky for iRacing. Oschersleben is a good call. Snetterton is rubbish. And Winton is not very good. So 3 tracks that no one likes. And they're all becoming free.
They are doing this, though, with more and more becoming free.
Yeah, because no one...
Yeah.
They really struggle to justify people buying it.
Yeah.
When none of the official series are using it. Snetterton, to be fair, is being used in... Snetterton, I would say, is the biggest one of them. Like, Snetterton's actually used. It's being used in PEC GB.
I like the track.
Like someone. I think the bigger iRacing news, though, this week is BMW. So BMW, of course, been working with iRacing with the Sim Cup for the past few years. Become quite a big championship. I think at one point the prize pool was something like 100 grand. I think last season it got reduced to 50 grand. Seems like maybe they have come up with a new series. Maybe Sim Cup will be coming up later on in the year, but I think it usually has started by now. And instead we've got the BMW M Power Tour. This seems to be less lucrative for esports drivers, but is
Z4.
yeah, you're right. It's less less attractive for esports drivers, but more attractive to general iRacers. And this is some of the challenges that are on. So this is on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. You got a different car and track combination each week, and they're even using some legacy content. So you can see that we've got the LMTH, we've got the current GT4, we've got the old GT3, we've got the GTE coming back. So it's quite a nice combination of cars. And some good tracks as well that they picked.
I can't wait to drive the Z4. It's been forever.
Yeah.
It has been forever. And the big BMW, I just don't like the BMW GT3 other than I'm driving it tomorrow for 12 hours. I miss the Z4, but then I think everyone does. It was a fun, more nimble, a fun car.
Yeah, and small.
Yes.
Especially when some of the new... Which car was it that was added? Which was like double the size of it. But yeah, one of the GT3s got added. And I was like, man, this thing's like twice the width. So yeah, you could be poking gaps.
I've got some iRacing news when we're done with this. I just thought of one that's not
I think we're done with it, to be fair. There's not much to talk about with that BMW thing. It's like, take part in it. It's going to be going on during the season 2 of iRacing. So maybe give it a go if you're interested.
All right, this one's for chat and you, because I want to know, because I don't know, there is no, well, there is an answer, but we don't know yet. So we knew everything about rain. We knew we were all quoting, we knew GT3s, LMP2, we were saying it all. So iRacing put out the pictures, and there was something missing, something huge. The McLaren and Ford were not on the pictures of GT3s that are getting rain.
Okay.
Which mean, well, so here's the two camps. People pointed out that they said it was for the endurance classes. So IMSA and the Macca and Ford aren't in IMSA. So that makes sense. So it was the GT3 class, it was the LMP2, it was the LMDH. So that's the IMSA cars. But that means it's not coming to Spa 24, and it's not coming to VRS, and it's not coming to Fanatec GT3 Sprint. So then the other camp are saying, no. Ford and Macca are being pulled, because then they quoted the image they shared of iRacing. If you take it in isolation, in the top right, it says GT3 class. And you see all the GT3s, and there's no Ford and Macca. So what do you think? Here's the options. Well, there's 3 options.
I think they're going to ditch it.
No, there's 3 options. You haven't had the third option yet. Ditch them. So we get rain in every form of GT3 and Spa 24. Ditch them. Or Mustang and 720S.
No.
Please.
Well, they'll come eventually. Well, no, the McLaren's not going to come because we've been talking about McLaren's being added for the last 10 years and they never do. But I think the Mustang will come. But no, I think they're just going to be dropped, and about time as well, because they're too old. It's like you can't have 12-year-old cars.
Wait, there's a chat comment that makes the best sense. They will be forced on slicks.
Yeah.
So it'll be valid.
Yeah, Aaron Smith saying they're being forced to use slicks. Propaganda.
I'd love that.
That would be true commitment to the Ford. It's already got a handicap, but that's a massive handicap if you're going to have to drive in.
I don't know what camp I'm in.
Well, yeah, I think you're trying to be hopeful. But
no, it won't be option 3. No, it's not the new cars.
No. But Spa 24, they'll add it. They'd rather get rid of 2 cars than not have it at all.
Spa 24 is away yet. They've got Sebring before that and stuff. You know, it's like, I don't know. I really don't know. My worry is that we're just not getting rain for VRS, Fanatec and Spa 24, and that they were mean it. Because they did, when they first announced it, they said it's coming to, Formula Ford, GR86, blah, 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 and the endurance family, or whatever I can't remember the word they used, but they used the word endurance. So when we just blindly took that, because then the GT3s were being mentioned. But I'm worried they meant for IMSA.
But why wouldn't they add it for Spa 24?
Well, because I don't know. I don't know why the Macca and Ford didn't get added. I don't know.
But like, there's no reason for them not to add it to the Macca and the Ford, because clearly it's not that much effort to add rain. Like, it's not like the damage model, because they managed to turn around one day and say, oh yeah, we're adding it to 15 cars. So you're adding 2 more cars.
All right, if they were ditching them,
Yeah.
why wouldn't they have told people by now who could potentially be buying them right now? So people could be buying the Macca today.
They probably
for
could make
rain.
more money.
You would think they would.
But
Would iRacing
they
do
would
that?
refund it though. Like, if you purchased a car in like the last 12 weeks, then they refund you the cost of it. I think they just haven't remembered. I think they've probably just gone, oh yeah, oops. You thought that this car was going to be used. No, it's not. It's your $15 back.
Last bit of conspiracy: the Macca's always popular at Bathurst. You think they just didn't announce it so they can sell a couple of Maccas?
No, I think they'll give a refund for the people who recently bought the Macca.
It's unbelievable, though.
Although it would be nice before Bathurst for them to say, oh yeah, this is it for the Macca.
Correct.
And then everyone would run it, and it'd be nice. And the iRacing don't care about that.
Yeah, so I'm not. I don't know. I actually don't know what they're going to do. But it's none of the options are brilliant.
I think that pretty much summarizes the sim racing news for this episode. I've actually been chatting about it for a while. So even though there was only 2 topics really, or 2 sims at least, that pretty much covers it. We'll go through the Apex news as well. Apex Racing team. Last weekend, PESC at Le Mans. Good result for Alex Sanchez with a 7th and a 2nd. He sort of needed that after a little bit of a tricky start to the season, particularly Daytona was a really bad round of the championship for himself. Luke, who's been terrific this season, he got all right points with an 11th and a 6th. You know, he went from 11th to 6th in that race too, so that was a really good effort from him. And in terms of DNLS, the GT3 car, the Porsche Cup car was 4th. I think Michael Yanni got a late puncture, which cost him a bit on that.
A puncture? What, running the car down to 0?
0%, I think, yeah.
I don't know if I'm impressed or scared.
Well, he still finished 4th, so he did a pretty good job to recover. The GT3 car, though, with, I think it was Kev and Elias, they finished in... Well, they finished in 3rd place. Really good battle between the top 2 cars. They crashed. One of them got a penalty for biffing the other one off. So we got put ahead of them. The other car ran out of fuel on the in-lap. So they get disqualified. Or
wait, you have to come back to pits?
Yeah, on the Nordschleife as well. So you need a bunch extra fuel. So they didn't get disqualified, but they had their points wiped. So we've officially finished 2nd place, but we scored more points than anyone else after being like 15 seconds behind going into the last corner. So really good result.
So for people that don't know, DNLS is a bit of a unique series in iRacing because you have to run a real driver, but you don't have to.
In the GT3 class, yeah.
In the GT3 class, but if you don't, you just serve a stop and go.
Yeah, it's
penalty.
like a 60-second stop and go, I think, yeah.
Very unique series.
So there is a genuine chance that we could win the title now. With 1 round to go, Redline are still leading. I think if we win and Redline finish 4th, then we win the title. It might even be if we win and they finish 3rd.
Verstappen in this one?
Verstappen, I think, was in last week's one. Yeah, but he's not going to be in the next one because there's an event in Bahrain that he's going to attend. So
he'll take his sim. It's important.
So what time is it? It's midday on Saturday. It's when qualifying is. Can't do it.
He doesn't need to qualify.
That's a really good point. That's such, like, honestly, yeah, you're right. I can't argue against that. Yeah, he's going to win.
Red Bull? No, it's fine. Look, I'll do it in the race. I've got DNLS.
Guys, stop bothering me. Jeez. I'll pass them tomorrow, all right? Christ. I'm 2 seconds a lot faster. Just get off my back. Gotta win this championship. It's not as easy.
Yeah, this isn't as easy as Formula 1.
Yeah.
I'm having to practice on this. Oh, brilliant. Brilliant, Sam. Well, that is ironic, though. I've said this a million times. There was that Red Bull event, you know, driver, what's it called? Real Drivers, you know, their event they hold weekly with Gustavo, Verstappen, Lullum, I don't know if you've seen it on Twitch. It's
Oh, what, the red line stream?
the red line
Oh,
stream.
yeah, yeah.
Real drivers.
I don't know what it's called.
There's like a
but yeah.
slogan, and you're watching it, and it takes your brain a moment to realise that Verstappen's really struggling with
Yeah.
Gustavo Lullam and all these people, and he's battling with them like crazy. And then you remember what he does for a job, and he doesn't race anybody. You know, in qualifying, he gets his lap together, and the commentator's like, how'd you go? Yeah, you know, I just
Yeah.
went around the track, and when it was left, I went
Like,
left.
it is insane how much boring it must be driving an F1 car than in the sim. Because he's not challenged in
Last
F1.
season, it was, what, 20 to 40 seconds he'd win by.
Yeah, and it's just a test session, you know? Like, he's not having to push at all.
Real drivers never quit. There you go. And like I'm watching this event, it's like Gustavo's on the inside, Verstappen's been passing, Verstappen's 3 wide. I'm like, this is awesome. Yeah. I want this.
In chat, apparently the first 2 races of the season are on Saturday. I didn't know about that. What? Did you know about that? First 2 races of the season in F1 are on Saturday.
Saturday where? Saturday in UK as well?
Yeah. Like, Bahrain's not much different in terms, like, what? Oh, apparently there's like a Islamic event on the Sunday. I thought it was always this time of year that event was on. So, I don't know. That's, but yeah, fine. It's on Saturday then. Very much taking the Formula E route on that one. So yeah, so this weekend, this is probably the biggest news. We have got Bathurst 12 hours, and here are the teams who are going to be taking part. Oh no, I'm not. Oh my. No. It's not gonna happen. I can zoom in though. Here we go. Oh wow, and look how the high definition of this poster. So in the ART car, Alex Dunn, Jimmy Antunes, and Luca Kita. In the Academy cars, Levesque, Manfredotti, and Gal. The next cars, Leaf Sebastian, Tiziano Capone, who's racing from the Sim Centre, Jordan Johnson, and then the last car, Mads Johansson and Thijs Simons.
Tizzy's a good kid.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, very easy to get on with, and yeah, it's really cool that he's over at the Sim Centre for this event. So
yeah, he pops in to see us, and he's like, "Aren't you guys streaming?" We're like, "Yeah, we're being late for a reason. Yeah. We're not just 2 idiots.
Just leave us to it. Yeah, we're pretty good at this. Just half an hour later, why is it not working?
I think about 45. Once I posted my Discord live in 10 seconds, and then we did the intro. Sam's talking, and I checked, not live.
Yeah,
it was like, try this again. And then Sam's midway through talking, I was like, we're not live, mate. And then, oh no. And then third time's a charm.
Yeah.
After 45 minutes of problems.
Somehow I was on Twitch. I don't know how we went live on Twitch. Really just a nightmare. Sort of my fault. We turned on things in the wrong order. But to be fair, it wasn't like an obvious thing that was wrong.
And
like,
just to summarise, it's what, 4 PCs?
Yeah.
About 1,000 audio interfaces. There's this Stream Deck that's about what, 4-5 foot?
Yeah.
By 4-5 foot. And you know these sliders you have on a Go XLR? There's what, 14 of them?
Yeah.
And
but
then
to be fair, we only needed to use one.
Correct. We don't know which one.
We don't know which one. Oh, we tried every combination. What does this button do? We'll turn it on.
Talk in the mic now, Sam.
Test. Nah.
And the funniest thing is the Stream Deck's in there, like got 2 large XLs. When you press them all, it reconfigures all the buttons, and all the buttons move.
Yeah, it's so smart.
I almost took Sam's hand off because Sam had his hand on it. We didn't break anything.
No.
It worked now.
Yeah, it's fine.
You just forgot to.
Oh, also, we've got the camera in a different angle, but I think it looks all right like this. Let us know if you think this
Something's
looks better.
different, right? It's more zoom.
I think it's a bit taller now. I did initially have it lower, but then I raised it so we can get the late Apex logo in the background. So yeah, I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah, and the camera's not the right angle. My drink's not in. There you go.
There you go. That's Apex Racing team covered. Apex Racing Academy.
Probably take.
We have got our Bathurst 12 hour. So if you haven't got a set somehow, go to apexracingac.com. Go to Bathurst 12 hours on the top, and you can put in your email, and you'll be sent across how to drive the track, setups, maybe something to do mid-race to figure out how you're meant to do when you're about to get into the car.
Also, I'd like to add, if you don't have a setup at 11:55 the night before a race, this isn't for you.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I don't know. I do go to the offer because I want people to go to the offer. At the same time, mate, just get some practice in.
Yeah.
At this point, like
Baseline will do now. You just need to do laps and be consistent. But yeah, get the set.
Apex Racing League. This is our what is it? It's our championships that we're hosting. It's almost Saturday. And one of the new championships that we've announced is Season 10 of Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup. So if you're a fan of Porsche Cups, go over to apexracingligue.com and put your name down. 12 rounds coming up, covering the official series tracks. And we've got our elimination heat format. Last season was terrific. Genuinely maybe the best Apex Racing League series ever in terms of the attitudes of the drivers, in terms of the competitiveness, in terms of the entertainment on the stream. Really fantastic championship, and I think Season 10 is going to be very similar. So sign up before the 15th of March or before the field gets filled out. 60 drivers can sign up and do that. So go to apexracingligue.com for more details.
Apex Endurance Series when? That's all they're asked. That's all they're going to ask.
Well, yeah, I can pretty much say so. It will be like June the 14th, June the 15th, something like that.
So do check that out, because it's a 2 hour, do the races change length? Like 2-3 hours?
So last time it was 3 hours.
3 hours every week?
And
every Friday night. What was it last
year? I know. So it was every 2 or 3 weeks last time.
On a Friday nights.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
I know so many people, including myself, that gutted weren't part of it.
Well, you can be this time.
And you're ditching the LMP2s, right?
Ditching the LMP2s. There will be GTP and GT3.
GT3.
We might have Pro and Am classes, perhaps, which would be a nice element of it. Last time it was just overall. And yeah, that will be starting in June. So that will be starting like week 2, I think, of Season 3 of iRacing. It gets a bit convoluted because we might have to delay it because of Le Mans 24 is like in June as well. So like we're going to have to mix it around that. But yeah, I think it will be the week after Le Mans 24 will be round 1. That's not confirmed, but that's the plan at the moment.
Sweet.
Apex Racing TV, our broadcasting channel. Let's see some highlights.
I hear me.
Yeah, this is.
You
remember this?
Oh, wait, is that Robert?
Is that the move of the season? Well, it's not because he hasn't.
Wait, is this was the Dalaval move? No. Go back. Who was this?
This was Del Piccolo.
Del Piccolo, that was it.
I really like this move.
Yeah. Yeet. Oh, that's.
Is that the move of the season? Well, it's not because he hasn't pulled it off, but. And then you get the mega squeeze on this next straight.
Oh, yeah. Was that Del Piccolo with the 3 wide?
Oh.
Really late 3 wide, mind
Close. Hopefully it doesn't lock me up.
Run, Robert. Run. Yeah, Robert listens. If I remember right, he breaks very late. Look at that.
He's left himself a little bit open there, has Van Horn. And then, yeah, here we go. No, he decides not to go for that time, but that's because Van Horn sent it wide. And now this is the opportunity. Really nice move there for Del Piccolo, and he manages to complete it on the outside here.
It was some really good racing here, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it is once again.
Oh, look at that. Robert almost went for the switchback.
Maneuver for Del Piccolo to get the move stuck, but he has done it eventually, and I think that all counts as one move, and I think that's...
Yeah, it's fun stuff.
Nice race, that.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
We've got a good variation, actually, of the clips today. Next up, Radical Sim Racing. It was Monza with no first chicane we were racing at last week.
Lord.
It will be for second place.
And this is on the last lap of the feature race.
These cars have enough draft anyway, and you've got rid of the first corner.
It wasn't up to me. This is,
Look, he's gone.
This is an officially Radical sanctioned event.
Yeah.
takes that second position for now.
And
But
look at just more
look at the way
cars
that
come up.
Weidrich is
Look,
getting on
P4's
these
going to
guys.
be in
He's
the
gonna make
lead.
it 3 wide if he
No,
wants
is
to, can.
P4 actually
And
going to be in the
there is
lead?
space.
Oh
Here
my
he
God.
comes
Yeah,
from
it's
P5
left-hander, isn't it?
up into P2. Larson's trying
Oh,
to
he
go
just broke
there as
early.
well. But Hutchinson the long way round
Look at that, though.
into De La Rocha. He has got clear, but that has
So
given
Hutchinson managed to get ahead.
a chance.
Oh, brilliant.
Lundy won that race, but oh my god, my computer's just what? Like why? Everyone saw the message saying, "Oh, you're going to be logged out in a minute."
I don't think we can share my screen. I don't think it's working. so-
Why that? This has never happened. What? This is because of the delay.
Yeah, sorry, no.
This is because of the delay, and I had it on, but I usually have it on during the broadcast.
It's fine. For our podcast listeners, tell us these last two videos.
What are they? F4 final lap.
I can.
I honestly cannot even remember.
I can. You can watch it from here, and then you just tell us.
Valentin Amblard is going up the inside of Tim Rutson. And, I mean, this is the worst stuff ever, but this is what the podcast listens to every time. Rutson is ahead. He goes defensive. Someone's almost going to make it 3 wide, heading into the hairpin at Okayama. There's nearly contact between the two of them. Managing to go around the outside is Amblar. He manages to get his nose ahead going into Revolver, and through the second part he gets it done. Meanwhile, Rutson loses control of the car, has an oversteer, and loses the AM lead to Zutorelli. And this is all on the last lap at Okayama in the Apex Racing Academy Formula 4 Championship.
Mate, I used to listen to F1 on the radio, mate. You did a great job.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I used to listen to F1 on the radio back in the day. And the last clip, is it a good one? SRF, that's all you've put.
Oh, we've got 2 SRF clips, actually.
Your laptop will be on soon.
Oh no, well, we need to see this visually.
Okay.
What track, do you recognise this track? Just by this? I mean,
Phoenix?
I mean, it's fairly obvious. You can literally see it on your screen.
Oh, okay, New Hampshire.
Yeah. What's a track? I pretty much just wanted to show off how good a track New Hampshire is. Because, man,
OBS.
it's just not used enough.
So what did the laptop force an update? Force a reboot?
No, it just said your laptop's going to turn off in a minute. I don't know why. Oh, is that not plugged in? No,
yeah,
it is
looks
plugged
like
in.
it is, yeah.
What's the sheet called?
The 20.
Late Apex.
It's on our. If you go to my Discord.
2302. Here we go. We're almost there, people. This is a good clip.
This has been a professional
Oh,
stream.
it's been awful.
Oh, there you go. You're live.
Going on the inside,
So basically, this is just a great demonstration. Do you know New Hampshire?
I've raced IMSA here many moons ago.
But yeah, just look at this. You go on the outer oval, then you're onto this, coming up to the banked corner. And this is a battle for the lead between Naselli and Castro. And into the banking. A little bit of contact.
Oh, that's the new TK team. Delenti.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's. You're not going to see the
That's a great battle. Yeah,
Texaco anymore. This is the new one. Yeah, look, esports by TK. There you go.
And then back onto the infield. Just such a fantastic course. And it was good to see it in action. They also utilised a little bit of the banking as well on the last lap.
Jason Perry was the person to do so. So, Brad
What?
Cathcart, second in Masters.
Um,
Tom Gradwell, fourth.
wait, where?
Real day for the Aussies, isn't it? And
Is this
Phil
after the
Berry
race, I
will
hope?
win in
Yeah.
Spain.
Oh, I was going to say, otherwise
Yeah.
3 or 4 people are out of the
Yes,
league.
it's alongside the
Oh, wow, you forget how good the damage model is in iRacing. Look at that.
Yeah.
Coming into full swing here.
They found a jump.
You can
on
actually see the
track.
guy's
This is
legs.
The only week we've seen this.
Into full swing. The traditional
Yeah, you
LA
can,
with
yeah,
the
yeah.
Warriors demolition
And the
This is
pedal
only
wires.
replay here of Jason Green and others.
Not
There
quite
we go.
Alton Park, but not too far.
Nice little cartwheel at the end of that.
So yeah, they'll have some good fun in SRF.
Yeah, nice.
That covers everything. It's Saturday.
Sunday.
How? What?
Oh, it's Saturday now. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. You. Yeah.
How are you feeling about Bathurst tomorrow? And how do you feel about your PESC? No, is PESC going? No, PESC isn't on.
It's a week
tomorrow, is it? It's
because of
next
Bathurst.
week. Yeah, sorry, my bad.
So Bathurst, we've changed car. We've gone from the Ferrari to the BMW. The bop swung a little against the Ferrari got the biggest bop, 3% engine power. I did my first bit of prep today. Well, I did the bop on Monday, so I know the laps. I did some prep about an hour today with the team and felt good. Set's nice and safe. We've gone for consistency and safe and fuel saving. That's the strat.
Sure.
We haven't once talked about raw 1 lap pace. I'll be qualifying. I'll be doing the first 2 hours. We've got a really solid, consistent team. Bathurst for me, I'll just be excited when we get through the first 10 minutes, because then you got the percent of just surviving the entire race goes up about 90%. But those first 10 minutes, I don't know. I might be playing Le Mans Ultimate by lunchtime. I hope not. I really want to get to the end in this race. I've done a lot of Bathurst 12 hours, and I do enjoy them. They're very rewarding to finish. You know, regardless of the result, even if you're 3 positions down to where you should have, it's just a good feeling when you finish this event. Like, and PESC, I just need a bit of luck, man.
How did it go actually at Le Mans?
Terrible.
Oh yeah.
Lots of apologies, and I accepted the apology. Yeah, I've had the pace every week. I just need I could do with a pinch of luck. First race things, I'm always doing very well. Qualifying well, finishing well. Race 2, I don't know what to do. The full reverse grid has just been brutal to me.
Sure. Yeah. You've lost out a lot on that.
So, yeah, I'm chuffed to be taking part. I could just do a pinch of luck now just for the rest of the season, and I can turn everything around.
You'll get a race win eventually. It's only a matter of time. So
I want it.
Yeah.
I'd love it.
That'd be a good achievement.
Yeah.
That pretty much rounds out a couple of comments in the YouTube chat, which I can't open now because my PC obviously restarted. Nick Horn saying such pros and saying that 5 live on the phone, Sam. So
You did well.
Thank you, Nick. Yeah, it's not been a great day. Latest finish ever on the late Apex. And I think next week when Lee's back, we should be all good. But we've learned some lessons.
We have.
And hopefully you've learned something about Le Mans Ultimate. Hopefully you go and buy Le Mans Ultimate, because we do recommend buying it. That is a late Apex
It needs to fix the bugs.
recommendation.
But yes.
Fix the bugs as well. That rounds us off then. So thank you very much for tuning in to the late Apex. We'll be back next week. Of course, do check out Apex Racing TV's other broadcasts. And yeah, next week we'll be perhaps talking a little bit more about Le Mans Ultimate. We'll be talking as well about what happened at Bathurst 12 hours, previewing PESC as well for Apex Racing Team, and yeah, discussing everything else that happens in the world of sim racing. But for now, from myself, Sam Fitzpatrick, and from David Sampson,
Cheers.
we are going to say goodbye, and we'll see you next week.